Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wellham's World YouTube channel. Today we're back at it with another tier list, and I have decided to look at Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now I played a bit of it on the channel. I played a lot of it off stream, off YouTube. Prestige 5 on Black Ops 6, which is says a lot about how little I've touched grass and how little I've touched anything other than Black Ops 6. But obviously a big part of that is the zombies. I'm really into the zombies this year. Looking forward to next map and things like that. But today we've got all of the Black Ops 6 launch Gobblegums. There are 28 in total. 7 rare, 7 epic, 7 legendary, 5 ultra and 2 whimsical. And we're going to go through them today. We're going to rank them in a tier list. We've got the tiers are top 3 because I think there are 3 that completely stand out above everyone else. Good, decent, meh, and not worthwhile. To my right, I have got Black Ops 6 open, and it has all of the descriptions for them, so I'll read out the description as we go along. But if I go from left to right, so the rares are stock option, Killjoy, Anywhere But Here, Cashback, Temporal Gift, Arsenal Accelerator, and Shields Up. The epics are Who's Keeping Score, Free Fire, Nowhere But Here, Soda Fountain, Profit Sharing, Respin Cycle, and Exit Strategy. The legendaries are Idolize, Wall Power, Phoenix Up, Great Power, On the House, Wall to Wall Clearance, and Immolation Liquidation. The ultras are Purgaholic, Near Death Experience, Hidden Power, Raindrops, and Wunderbar. And the 2 whimsicals are Newtonian, Negation, and Indigestion. So I don't really know the best way to go about sort of looking at these. I could just go from left to right. I've got the descriptions here. Go through each section. I might do it that way, and just read the description, discuss each one, and kind of see, and kind of just see where I would put them in that sense, based on each one, rather than comparing them to each other and things. Just do it based on the descriptions we've got here as well. So we'll start. They're in the exact order that they appear on the game as well. That's why they're in this order on here, is because you can go from left to right, and then below, and then through epic, legendary, ultra, and whimsical. So we'll start with stock option. Now the description for stock option is that it lasts for 3 minutes, and the ammo is taken from the player's stockpile instead of their weapon's magazine. Now, the times where I can see this being useful is, for example, if you've got a weapon that doesn't have much in the magazine, but you need to get like rapid fire kills. For example, there's the gold camo challenges, get 10 kills rapidly 15 times, or there's another challenge. I think it might be for the next one after Opal. I think is it Nebula just straight after Opal? I can't remember what's next. Maybe Afterlife camo is the one I'm thinking of, but essentially you need to get 15 kills without taking damage 10 times, and I can see that being useful because you can just spray. You've got like a weapon that's got low mag, but other than that, other than grinding camos, I don't really, in like general play, I don't really see the usefulness of it. Potentially with some SAM trials if you need to get kills quickly, but I don't think you really need them. So I'm going to put it in meh, because there's like a specific point in time where you'd think, oh, you know what, that's good. The next is Killjoy. I think Killjoy, one of those where it's like I've got 21 of them stocked up in my game. I don't really use them, but I can see them being useful. Obviously, it spawns an insta kill. That's all it does. The way I see it is, because you can hold 3 Gobblegums now, your Killjoy could be like your 3rd one, and you can spawn it in whenever you want and hold 2 more. So you could do it for, like, for example, Liberty Falls Easter egg. You've got the HVT step, so you could use it to get the HVT's health down. Or, for example, there's a round where 2 or 3 amalgams spawn on Terminus, or there's the Kraken boss fight. If someone spawns in Temporal Gift, and someone spawns in Killjoy, you can do probably quite a serious amount of damage, especially if you've got Mustang and Sally, or I've seen a lot of people doing it with chopper gunners, like putting insta kill on with a chopper gunner, and even like, for example, dealing with an abomination in an exfil. So there are areas where an insta kill is probably one of the better power ups to use. So I'm going to pop that in decent. Anywhere but here. Now I've got a thing with my thing with anywhere but here is it can be really useful in getting you out of a bind. So if you accidentally get yourself trapped and you just pop in anywhere but here, but the thing is, you've got to pop it in the animation. So it takes a teeny, like a few seconds. So if you're really, really desperate, it might not work. But essentially, you just teleport to a random location, and then when you spawn in, a blast like knocks away the zombies if there are nearby ones. So I've used this 3 times in total because I've had daily challenges where it's like, oh, use 5 Gobblegums. So I've used it like literally when I've had that, I've put on all my rares that I've got a lot of, and I've just been using them. And I've had it where I've popped it on Liberty Falls in the bank, and I've teleported it to somewhere else in the bank. One time I had that. One time I had it where I stood out next to the bus outside the bowling alley, and then got teleported just into the doorway of the bowling alley. It doesn't seem to, like, you can use it for speedruns and things like that if you're that way inclined, and sort of hope you get you pop it and you get closer to your next part that you need to look for or whatever. But I personally, in general, it's a meh for me. I don't really see it being all that useful. Now, cashback back in Black Ops 3 was an epic, I believe, and it was much more useful because nowadays we have ammo crates just around the map. The thing I will say is that I feel like personally in Black Ops 6, max ammo drops are much rarer than they have been before. I would say, obviously, you get them when you vermin rounds or your parasite rounds, but essentially, I think the general spawn rate is lower. So I think there is still a use for cashback, and I think with things like the boss fights, which is where you would think they would be most useful, you get max ammos between rounds, between waves, and things like that. So I think the only thing that makes it kind of useful is if you rinse a lot of ammo, trying to kill an abomination or an amalgam, and you're quite close to getting, say, Pack-a-Punch level 3, and you don't want to use 5k or 2.5k and drop it on ammo. You can just pop it of max ammo. So, but I just don't think there's a lot of like genuine uses for it, because at Pack-a-Punch level 1, your resupply on ammo is 1,000. Pack-a-Punch level 2, your resupply is 2,500, and Pack-a-Punch level 3 is 5,000 resupply. Now, that's in an ammo crate, unless it's a wonder weapon, in which case at Pack-a-Punch level 3 it's 10k, and I don't know what the rest of them are. I'm assuming it's 5k and then 2.5 maybe. So if you're using 2 wonder weapons, then maybe it would be much better. Say, for example, you're using the jet gun and the ray gun. It would probably be much easier to use cashbacks because it's going to cost you a shit ton to actually just get ammo. But if you're using, just a general weapon, 5k to get an ammo drop, and you do occasionally get ammo just dropping from manglers or elites, so I think it's less useful than it has been in the past. For example, if it was Black Ops 3, it'd probably go into good. However, I'm going to chuck it into decent. And then we go on to Temporal Gift. Now, Temporal Gift, I'll read out the thing. So it activates on the next time-based power-up, so it lasts longer. So, for example, you see a double points drop, you pop your Temporal Gift, and I'm pretty sure it doubles it. So usually when you pick up a power-up, it's 30 seconds. Drop a Temporal Gift, and it becomes a minute. So if you're trying to grind points and you've got a massive horde in front of you and you see a double points drop, you can chuck it on and just spray into them and get a shitload of points. If you're in the boss fight, like I said, and you're struggling and you see an insta-kill drop, or your mate's got a Killjoy, pop the Temporal Gift, pop the Killjoy. So I think it goes into good just because things like Killjoy, Cashback, they are made better by Temporal Gift, if I'm honest. So that's why I'm putting that there. So the next one, Arsenal Accelerator. So it lasts 5 minutes and it charges the field upgrade faster. It doesn't say how much faster. I think it's I personally I've used Arsenal Accelerator, like I said, similar ways to our Anywhere But Here, where I've just had the objectives to do it, to pop 5, and I don't really notice all that much difference. And I personally don't think you need them to charge quicker. They do take a while, but I don't think there's any really ever a point where you like are desperate for it to charge quicker. And I think if you have certain levels of research into speed cola, they charge quicker anyway, so it's not necessary. So I'm going to put it in meh, because it's not that it's not worthwhile, because if you got one and you used it, you can obviously, if you're, I don't know, going for your masteries on your build upgrades, then maybe, but you know, that's all I can think of. So the next one is Shields Up, and it's essentially, it lasts 3 minutes but refills armor on use, and the armor is twice as strong. Now, when you've got a round where you've got like 10 manglers and an amalgam just blitzing you, not a bad idea to have. It obviously is more effective and useful when you've got level 3 armor. When you've got level 1 armor, I don't see the point in having it on really. So I will put it into good, because I do think obviously sometimes you struggle to find armor plates on the floor, and you can obviously craft armor plates. They only cost 50 salvage, but again, I think Shields Up, it actually has like a genuine use, and it's good. It's a good use. So I think it probably deserves to go into good, but not much. I can't imagine it being anywhere near the top of good. I think there's going to be a lot that are going to be better than it, but it's just fine. So we move on to the epic ones next. The first epic is Who's Keeping Score. Now this spawns in a double points, as you can see by the design of it. I'm going to put it into good. I think double points is a more useful drop generally than these two, because you need points. You need a lot of points to fully pack-a-punch your weapons. You need 100,000 fully pack-a-punch, because it's 5 for the first lot, 15, and then 30, and also you've got 8 perks that you can buy. So not that you have to buy them all, but I think double points generally, I think you can find yourself struggling. So if you pop it at like an earlier round to get yourself to the next stage before so say for example round 14 starts and you're struggling and you've not got pack-a-punch or something, and you know the next round on Liberty Falls you're going to have an abomination and you're going to have to deal with that, pop a double points and on a Who's Keeping Score, and you know, it should be much easier to get to that point. And I think the issue with a lot of these ones where you spawn in a power-up is on Black Ops 3, you know, Immolation and Liquidation, you could spawn 3 fire sales and you could stack them and it would last a minute and a half. I think Who's Keeping Score was 2 double points that would drop. I think Killjoy and Cashback were only 1 activations, but I can't remember off the top of my head. The issue with it, how they changed it into Black Ops 6, is that you only spawn in 1. So your Immolation Liquidation, it's the same with Black Ops 4's elixirs. Immolation Liquidation is 1 fire sale, and it just seems a bit like they seem a bit less overpowered, which I guess is what they were trying to get away from. But yeah, I think Who's Keeping Score is pretty good. Now we've got Free Fire next, which is it lasts 60 seconds and your firing weapons consumes no ammo, so you can just spray for 60 seconds. For example, the example I used earlier, which I think is probably the best example of using Free Fire really, is Terminus's boss fight. You might be able to get, if you know, Temporal Gift, Killjoy, and a Free Fire. If there's 3 of you in the game, you know, you're pretty sorted. The issue you get here is that it doesn't work with wonder weapons, which I didn't know before I recorded this and looked. it only works with regular weapons, but the Mustang and Saleh, for example, are super usable. They're really, really good. The ASG as well, they're really good against that boss fight. So if you hit those crit points with a free fire, you'd probably be doing all right. Other than that, I don't really see myself using it ever. So I'm going to put it in decent. It's like fine, and it's got some good uses. So that's the reasoning behind it. And then next is Nowhere But There, and I've not used this in this game. So essentially, you instantly teleport to a random downed player, instant revive nearby players. Now, I've used Nowhere But There before. I've used it on Black Ops 4, and I've used it on Black Ops 3. And you would teleport to them and have to revive them. But I've not used it on this one, and the part where it says instant revive nearby players, I don't know if that's, you know, as you spawn in they get revived, or if you press square on to revive them they just get up. But it's useful. You have things like Healing Aura, Phoenix Up that are more useful. So for example, Healing Aura, people can keep perks if you revive them. The same with Phoenix Up. Whereas I'm not sure whether you can keep perks in, and also it requires, obviously the use of it is the friends go down, and I just don't see it. It's not that useful, but it's got a use. It's okay. It's one of those things where if you have no on the house, then you're going to use it. Sorry, if you have no Phoenix Up, I don't know why I said on the house there. If you have no Phoenix Up, use Nowhere But There. But other than that, I think you don't really use it. Next, Soda Fountain. Black Ops 3 was a legendary because what you could do is essentially it would give you 8 perks. It would every time you buy a perk, you get a free perk, and and you can use it 4 times. But because you've only bought 2, well, say for example you buy Juggernog and Quick Revive, and then it also gives you Widow's Wine and Stamina Up. So you've got 4, but you need to buy because it's got 5 charges on Black Ops 3, so you could get all 8 perks or all 7 perks, however many are on the map, with 1 charge of Soda Fountain. On this game, similar to the way, like I said about Immolation Liquidation only having 1 fire sale, Soda Fountain works the same way. You can only use 1 purchase. So for example, your first purchase is Jug, and you get Speed Cola for free. You can't, then the Soda Fountain's gone, and you don't get another charge of it. Obviously, they made it an epic, and I still think it's good. I don't think it's, well, I still think it's decent, should I say, but I don't think it's good. I think it's fine. Like realistically, there's no perk limit, so there's no, you know, you're not using it to get around the perk limit issue. And each time all the perks are the same price, but each time you buy one, the next one's scaled up by 500. So, you know, back when it was, you know, Mule Kick was 4k, Widow's Wine was 4k, and Jug and Quick Revive, what you would do is you'd pop your Soda Fountain, you'd buy Quick Revive, hope you get Widow's Wine, because then you've saved yourself a bit of money from that. Same with Jug, you'd buy yourself, or Double Tap Stamina Up, which is 2000, buy the cheaper one, or Wonder Fizz. And you'd hope you get the more expensive one, so you didn't have to, you'd save yourself a bit of money. But with this one, that's not really, you're not really saving any money from it. Well, you're saving the money from buying the perk, obviously, but it's not like this added bonus. It's just that you're stopping yourself from buying an extra perk. It's decent. I still run it if I need to, but again, it's not got as many drawing factors to it as it does previous iterations of it. Now, profit sharing, it lasts 2 minutes, and it says a portion of the essence you earn is also received by players nearby, and vice versa. And the issue I've got with this is what portion. So if I get 115 for a headshot, what's my friend getting? He gets 115 for a headshot. What am I getting? I don't know. It doesn't say. Nearby. How nearby is nearby? Do you have to literally be sat next to each other, or can you be, you know, a decent way away? On Terminus, I like to train in the rec yard, and Jack likes to train on near the plasma cannon thing. If we pop a profit sharing, do we both get it if we're that far away? That's not far away. It's next room over. But Is it too far away to get it? I don't know. I've never used it. I don't see the point. I don't see the point in using it because I also don't know what the portion of points you get is. But is it not worthwhile? Maybe not. I suppose it's meh because it could be beneficial. It depends on the portion size and how far away you can be, and that needs to be tested by me because I've not done it and I don't have the knowledge to tell you that it's useless or not, because I don't know what the reach is for it. But next we've got Respin Cycle, which, guessed it, respins the weapon mystery box after it is settled. It also says to one of equal or higher rarity. I didn't know that part. I don't know if that's how it's always worked, but I'm assuming. So, for example, I pull out. So I've got gold camo on my ARs or something. Or say we're going to get opal eventually on my ARs, and I don't want to use them. I get an XM4 and it's epic. I use Respin Cycle. It's going to either be an epic gun or a legendary gun. So it's still going to go in meh. Let's be honest. Not that worthwhile. It is what it is. But not that. It's not amazing, is it? It has it. Like I said, it has its. There's obviously, like I said, if you get a weapon that you don't want to use because you've already got the camos on it or something, you can respin it. And the fact that you're not going to get a worse rated weapon, then that's fine. Good. So the next one, exit strategy. Why is this a thing? Activate exfil vote immediately. Reduce zombie spawns during exfil. Zombie spawns during exfil is not an issue. Chopper gunner, you can use a mutant injector, and you can have absolutely no issues. Even if there's an elite, Chopper gunner can take it out in seconds, and you can death with the mutant injection. The other thing is, it activates the exfil vote. So you've got a mate who's a bit knobhead, right? And you're playing with him. You're like, I need to exfil. You activate the Gobblegum. You activate the vote, and your mate rejects it. Lost your Gobblegum, lost the vote. What's the fucking point in that? Useless. Okay, absolutely useless. Next, Idolize. First legendary. So this one is 30 seconds. All zombies are players and stand idle. Now there's a couple of specific scenarios that I can see being useful. First is with Deadshot on Liberty Falls. There's like a where you hands off a fence. That could be a time where you'd need it, so you're not getting hit by zombies and worrying about that, and you can focus on hitting the 5 cans. The other is same map, where you in the bowling alley where you get the part for the jet gun and the valve. Again, very specific use. And even for things like if you get, for example, overrun by amalgams or abomination things, they can ignore you. The issue you got then is kind of like an Aether Shroud that lasts slightly longer. If you don't have Aether Shroud, but you're trying to, for example, get the knife kills without getting hit, the ammo challenges as well, that could be another good use for it. But generally, I think it's kind of meh. I don't think there's many examples of where I would use it. I don't think so. I think that's as far as it goes. And then you got next, All Power, so it activates on a wall by purchase, and the next purchase off a wall comes back punched. Not much more needs to be said about that. It is good. You're saving yourself 5k of a pack a punch. Not necessarily be all and end all when you've got to then save 45k, but it is good. And I think it's one of those where it's maybe become, I think with like weapon rarities as well, you could do it so that you take in a weapon, or if you know there's a weapon on the wall that you want to use, like the long run, you can kind of wait until it gets like a blue rarity or higher, and then you also save yourself like 1,500 salvage because you've not needed to upgrade it from bringing it in from the start and things like that. So there are ways where I see that being good. Now Phoenix Up is another good. It is a revive all teammates. Teammates keep all of their perks. Fantastic. You know, with things like healing aura, you can revive your teammates nearby, but they'll only keep the perks that are in their little bar when they've gone down. However, if you use a Phoenix Up, every perk that they had purchased beforehand, so if they had all 8 purchased, they'll get revived with all 8. Whereas with healing aura, if they go down and they've only got 3 left in their bar, they'll get revived with those 3. So realistically, I think Phoenix Up is the best. It's the best of the good, for sure. I think it's the best for the good, best of the good for sure. But we're also going to go great power, and I think it's a similar sort of situation to wall power, really. There's times where I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't really know what weapon to use or what to grind headshots with, so I've popped a crate power and I've picked up the first thing that comes out of the box that I need to use. For example, if it's when I've been grinding gold camo on all of the ARs on zombies, and I hadn't unlocked the goblin to take in with me on Liberty Falls, so I used crate power and got the goblin, and it was fine. It wasn't the best weapon in the world, but it was fine. Got on the house, another good. Spawns in a perk power up, so you get a random perk. Everyone gets one. So when you pick up that power up, everyone on your team gets one as well. So you're saving everyone money. Obviously, it can be any perk. Be melee macchiato, and if that's useless for you, that's useless for you. But free perk, you can't really complain too much. Now the next one, wall-to-wall clearance. Weapon wall buys cost 10 essence. Essentially, it's a fire sale for wall weapons. It's fine, decent. Not much more than that, really. I think there's not really much to say. You know, if there's a gun that you know you want and it's on the wall, and you're like, okay, I've got just over 5k, I can't buy the weapon and back up on it, then you're like, oh shit, wait, I've got wall-to-wall clearance, so you use that, and then you know that that's a weapon you want to use. Fine, that works, but that's the only situation where I can see that working. Immolation Liquidation spawns a fire sale power up, and I'm going to put it alongside Killjoy flashback. Now, Black Ops 3 would spawn 3, and you could stack them to have a minute and a half of fire sale. When you got Mule Kick, phenomenal, you know, because you can just keep cycling through. And the good thing about Immolation as well in this game and Cold War, well, fire sales in Cold War, but not Immolation specifically, drop your weapon. So if you pick up a weapon out of the box, you don't have to worry about losing that weapon forever. You drop it to the other weapon, and then just pick whichever one you prefer out of them, which is fine, and that's good, and it works. However, I think from the moment you've moved the box, fire sale power-ups that spawn are quite regular. I find them being relatively common, and I also don't find myself using the box that much. I think you take in a gun that you want to use, and then there's either a wall buy weapon that you could use, or you know, you hit the box until you get a wonder weapon, probably the ray gun, or you just hit the box a couple of times until you get like a blue or a purple, and you think, oh yeah, I'll use that. I don't see myself like constantly, unless I'm like, yes, I want the beam smasher, yes, I want the jet gun, yes, I want the ray gun. But with the jet gun and the beam smasher, you can make them, so you don't need to hit the box for them. The only one I can really see that for is the ray gun. But that's why I think it's decent. I don't think it's necessarily good, because it loses the ability to stack. It could potentially push into good, but for now I'm just going to leave it where it is. Now we move into the ultras, the red Gobblegums, and as you can see, the top 3 is still empty, and that's because all 3 of the top 3 are these red ones. Perkaholic. If you think about it, you've got 8 perks that you can buy. On Liberty Falls there's 6, so realistically this is probably more beneficial on Terminus because there's all 8. I know obviously at 25 Wonder Fizz spawns in, but that's way too late for Wonder Fizz to be spawning in. I think it should spawn in much earlier, especially considering one of the perks that's not on the map on Liberty Falls, fucking Deadshot, and you're trying to grind camos, and it's just the easiest map to grind camos on. Besides the point, I'm rambling, but yeah, this gives you every perk, and on Liberty Falls it does give you all 8, so maybe it is also more useful on there, because while you're not saving yourself as much money because you can't buy them off the wall or out of machines, you can get Deadshot much easier and much earlier. But as I was saying, the first perk you buy is 2,500, and then it subsequently goes up by 500 each time. So you got 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. So if you add all those up, I'm not good at maths. I just feel like a primary school kid, like adding up 500 each time. But if you add up how much that costs, that's at least like enough for a Pack-a-Punch and a double Pack-a-Punch. I would say it's at least 20k or there or thereabouts. I think that's why this is good, and I think get Deadshot early on makes like camo grinding a lot easier as well in those sense. And it's also been quite nice because I've had some, because I got the Vault edition or whatever. I've had like at one point I had 3 or 4 perkaholics. So what I've been doing is, when I've been going into like the boss fights, if I go down in the boss fight and lose all my perks, I get revived, pop a perkaholic, but if I don't use it, then I don't lose it. So I've just got it as like a failsafe, and that's been quite nice to have. Next is near-death experience. Now this is lasts 3 minutes or 5 revives. So revive or be revived by being near other players. So revived players keep all of their perks. And this is good. I don't know how near you have to be, but the fact that you can train, that you could go, if a player goes down, pop it, and you can train around them and they can get revived, but you can keep a hold of all the zombies, so as soon as they go up they've got a second to just get back into it, but they also keep all their perks. Now I think this is good. I think it's near the top end of good. I actually think it's probably realistically better than Phoenix Up, considering how long it lasts. It lasts 3 minutes or 5 revives, whichever is longest. But I think that's actually probably the next best thing out of the top 3. And the next we have Hidden Power, which is upgrade your currently held weapon to legendary rarity. I'm going to stick in top 3 because you have to spend quite a bit of salvage to get a weapon to legendary. And then if you're using 2 weapons, like that aren't wonder weapons, you've then got, so you've got 500 to get it to green, then 1,000, so that's 1,500 just to get it to blue, then it's 2.5 to get it to purple, so that's 4k, and you've got another 5k to get it to legendary, so that's 9,000 salvage, which is a lot. And you know, you can put things on like suppressors and things like that, but if you're trying to get 2 weapons legendary, it's a fucking nightmare. So I'm going to put it in the top 3 because I think it should be there. I think it's very good, and I think for things like, for example, the GS45 or the sniper that's like the LR, when they get Pack-a-Punch, they become explosive, and it's almost impossible to get headshots with them. So if you have Hidden Power, and you bring in the sniper, or you have the GS45 off the wall in Liberty Falls, for example, I'm pretty sure it's in Terminus as well. But you can get it to legendary, and then get your headshots in before you need to Pack-a-Punch it. Which is another way that it can become, it's another sort of camo grindy mindset to be in, but yeah. The next is Wonder Bar. Oh no, it's not next on my little thing, that's the only issue, the only mistake I've made with this order. But Wonder Bar's the next on my PlayStation, so it activates on Mystery Box Spin, and the next weapon you get from the Mystery Box will be a Wonder Weapon, so that's either the Beam Smasher or the Jet Gun, the map specific wonder weapons, or it's the ray gun. Now the ray gun is the best weapon on the game for dealing with combinations, for dealing with amalgams. It's the best one. So realistically, you probably, unless you specifically want to do the Easter eggs, you kind of want the ray gun, because the Beam Smasher is good on Liberty Falls, on Terminus for dealing with the amalgams. The Jet Gun's not very good at dealing with the elites and stuff on Liberty Falls. So that's going to round up the top 3 as Wonder Bar. I think generally the map specific weapons are rarer to get, so you do quite often find yourself getting a ray gun. But knowing that you're going to get a ray gun is not bad at all, is it really? And then finally we have Raindrops, which works in the exact same way as Black Ops 3. It spawns all of the core power-ups at once, so that would be max armor, max ammo, insta-kill, full power, double points, bonus points, fire sale. I think that's all of them, and a nuke. So, you can get a decent amount of points from it if you, for example, pop it, grab the double points, and then grab everything else. So you get 800 from the nuke, 1,000 from the bonus points, things like that. And also, I think it might drop a perk power up. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but it might potentially drop a perk as well. And I think it's good. I do think it's good. I think it's better than on the house because especially if it does drop, because everything applies to everyone. It's not like a personal. It affects everyone obviously with like max ammo and things like that, of course. But what I meant specifically is with the perk as well. So that's where that goes, and then obviously you just get one of everything. So it makes all of these sort of, especially if I don't know how it works with Temporal Gift. So I'm assuming it's just whichever one you pick up first, it continues on with. But this is the, and then we've got the 2 whimsicals, which I'm going to put in not worthwhile because I've never fucking used them, and you get one each time you exfil. But you've got Newtonian Negation, which lasts 3 minutes, and all zombies when they're killed fall straight up. You've got Indigestion, which lasts 3 minutes, and zombies killed experience extreme flatulence, so they just fart. And I get it, it's a bit of fun, and that's fine. I'm happy to do that. I'm not, not everything has to be mega serious about the game. They want to put something in. There was one where they would wear, on Black Ops 3, where they'd wear rubber ducks around them, and I used to pop that all the time. And there was the one where your vision goes fucked, and it's a bit of fun. But I can't put them anywhere other than not worthwhile because it's pointless. And I don't use them. That's the other thing as well. I just don't use them. And yeah, that's the list. I'm pretty sure I've been filtering them through and putting them where I would put them in general. I'd probably put Arsenal Accelerator ahead of them. I'd put Idolize ahead of them. But Nowhere But There would go up as well. Profit sharing would probably go up. Stock option would go all the way at the bottom. That's about right for me, and I think probably. But yeah, that's my list. That's the order I'd rate them from worst to best. The only one that's like a proper Gobblegum that I don't think is worth using at all is Exit Strategy. I just think it's pointless. But the top 3: Perkaholic, Hidden Power, and Wonder Bar. Now, the reason why I decided to do this now, and specifically mention that it's all launch Gobblegums, because with each zombies map there's going to be potentially new 1, 2, 3, I don't know how many Gobblegums. So what I'd do it before any new ones come out, so that this is just the launch ones, and then any that get added I could always do an updated one by the end of the year and do like updated Black Ops 6. So when all the maps have come out, all the Gobblegums have been released. There could be tons more. There could be 1 or 2 per map. There could be 3 per map. I have no idea. It just says new Gobblegums. But yeah, that's everything for today's video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. Appreciate it. If you want to discuss anything in the comments about where I've put things, then also, like I said, feel free to have a chat in the comments. I'm more than happy to do so. And I will see you in the next video or stream. So take care, everybody, and goodbye.